Hi YouTube, in this video I'm going to show you all the things that I purchased from this year's Deciem Slowember sale. I didn't purchase as many things this year because I still have quite a bit left from last year's haul, and I also used and purchased other products outside of The Ordinary and Deciem. This year my haul is exclusively The Ordinary's products, and I've not bought a lot of the same things that I love and cherish because I'm trying other things. It's not because they don't work for me or I don't love them, but I just have this interest of trying different skincare products, so I haven't gone back to it. So I'm gonna start off in a random fashion. The first one is the Glucoside Foaming Cleanser. It comes out pretty clear, and it's very good at, I don't know why I just put some on my hand and I can't obviously use this. This is a great cleanser for travel purposes. I know you can't travel with like a 150 milliliter product, like go by plane or anything, but I think if you're traveling, you know, just to your friend's place or driving on a road trip, I think this is great in that sense. It does a very good job of getting rid of sunscreen, but in my experience, it takes a couple of usages of this for getting rid of makeup, and I'm not a heavy makeup user. Like I use, like I have powder foundation on right now, and when I use foundation, I don't use any primer. I also don't use setting spray very often. So in that experience, this worked when I, cleansed my face twice, but this is like a good basic cleanser. Like it's good for sensitive skin, it's good for your morning wash, it's good for your evening wash to get rid of sunscreen and maybe some makeup, but I wouldn't rely on this completely on its own if you tend to wear a lot of things or have more serious skin concerns at this time. Next, I have Aloe 2% and NAG 2%. I love this product so much. It gives me an instant, like it has a very different runny texture than alpha-arbutin, but it doesn't work as well as alpha-arbutin. So I still have one bottle left of alpha-arbutin from my last year's haul, so I didn't purchase it, but I think their 2% alpha-arbutin by The Ordinary is by far the best alpha-arbutin based product that I've used, and it's very effective. Like I can use that for a couple days and there's like a brightness in my skin. So I strongly recommend that if you're looking for something to help with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or like uneven skin tone. This gives you a really nice brightness when you apply, but I don't think this like is something that you can rely on as much as alpha-arbutin. So the thing I like about the texture for this is that it's so lightweight and it doesn't have hyaluronic acid, that it sits really well under makeup, sunscreen, that kind of thing. And alpha-arbutin, if you use a small amount, it's okay, but if you use like maybe a pump full or like a, like a dropper full of alpha-arbutin, it does like lead to pilling only because of the hyaluronic acid and the kind of sunscreens that I use. So it's both, it's not just the product, but it's the kind of sunscreens that I use as well. And so I think this is a good alternative for anyone who doesn't want to or can't use alpha-arbutin for any reason, but the impact is lower. I also have the caffeine solution. I love the solution so much. Okay, so as you guys know, I don't use an eye cream that is specifically just an eye cream. So I really like Chemist Confessions like eye and face retinol cream, and it works really well. But when my skin is particularly sensitive, so this summer and fall I've been swimming, and I've noticed that my eyes get pretty itchy. I stopped using retinol and I started focusing 1% copper peptides all over my eye area, and it works really well. But sometimes I use too much and my eyelashes like rub against my glasses and they just make it very like smudgy, and I hate that. So I started using this copper and EGCG solution for all over my eyelids, and it works really well to essentially make your skin look a bit more like awake. I know I don't like using those words to describe how a product works either, but it makes me look like my eyes are just fresh, like my eye area. And I think that in terms of like improving the skin barrier function, copper peptides does a lot more than this, but I've noticed that this feels so lightweight around the eyes. I don't suffer from puffy eyes after waking up, so I can't tell you about how well it works for that. I think a lot of people have mentioned that it helps with eye puffiness. In terms of improvement in dark circles, I don't think I've seen much of an improvement with this, but their eye serum, that's like a $30 purchase for 15 mils, that works really well to give my eyes a brightening effect. But it's expensive and I have quite a bit of things for my eyes already, so I didn't purchase it this time, but it's definitely one of the things that works really well. I got it last year as like a free purchase with an order, so I really enjoyed it. And then I have salicylic acid at 2%, the anhydrous solution. So I don't know, I just feel weird about this. So I did not purchase it in this haul. I actually got it from last year's haul, and I wanted to mention it because I don't think I've done a video last year. I don't think I did, but I'm not sure. Also, I didn't use it for a whole year until this year, and I was like, okay, I really have to be careful with all the things that I purchased in the sale because I'm clearly not using it up by next year. So this, it's so weird. So it feels like just an oily serum on my skin. It doesn't burn or sting like a lot of people wrote in the reviews, but this broke me out. Like, I have a few pimples from this. It does exfoliate my skin. I have dry, sensitive skin. And I think that if you're using this with Tret or any other active ingredients, you may experience more redness and dry, flaky skin. It does work, but I think it also breaks me out. Like, I'm still trying this. I don't think this is as strong because of the medium, as strong as the salicylic acid 2% that's water-based. I think that this, like, I still can't think of who I would recommend this to. Maybe someone who has more mature skin, who doesn't have acne anymore. Maybe if you're, because this has squalane, so it's definitely like, but I think I'm gonna keep trying it because sometimes when you try a lot of different things at the same time, you can break out. So I can't say that this exactly is the thing that broke me out. It's so hard to figure that out, but I'm gonna keep trying it. But I definitely think that this product is more suitable for someone with more mature skin who doesn't have acne. I think they're going to see a really good improvement in, you know, their concerns should they use this. Okay, next is one of my favorites. This is EUK 134. I talk extensively about this in my previous videos. I suggest you go look at them. This has a organometallic antioxidant that keeps on continuously going through this process of oxidizing and losing the oxidation and getting reduced and then going through that process again. And so it's just a really good price for what you're getting in here. If you are sensitive to vitamin C, if you want to use something that will last you a while, You know, like I am applying this over my powder foundation. I don't care. It's just so good. Like it helps you over the day. You get exposed to like UV rays, heat from like cooking, pollution, and just your internal stress and stress from the environment, things like that. There's a lot of things that cause us to constantly have the need to fight off oxidation, and this is one of my favorite ones for people with sensitive skin. It's just don't think, just do situation. Great for guys who just want antioxidants and sunscreens, like just the 2-step routine in the morning, and this is great for at night too. Just use this and a moisturizer, you're done. I think this works really well as like whenever I use this before my sun exposure, and usually I make it a point to apply this as my antioxidant as opposed to some of the other ones that I have when I'm doing like outdoors gardening work, because it actually really helps with like, okay, so I use sunscreens, I use antioxidants before I go out, but sometimes there's such strong amount of sunlight that your face becomes red and hot, but when you come back indoors and you stay indoors, your skin like calms down. When I use this, I don't experience that heat on my face, if that makes sense. So I do think that this is one of their novel products that The Ordinary has. Last but not the least, I have the Ordinary Saccharomyces Ferment 30% Milk Toner. So my town in Ontario got a Sephora like last year, I believe, and I kept trying this every time I went in there. And I was like, oh, I think I really want to try this and purchase it. So I finally got my hands on it. As you can see, I've already started using it. You don't have to use a lot. And I love this so much. Like, I think this is definitely one of my favorite purchases of The Ordinary, not just from this haul, from like their entire product line. If you have skin that's prone to redness, if you have skin that is like flaking, it's supposed to be a gentle exfoliator, and it does exfoliate, but it's nothing that you can see as like, oh, I have flaky skin. You're not gonna notice that, but it's so helpful for my seborrheic dermatitis prone eyebrows. And I do have dandruff, so that's something that I have genetically. And I find that I have like, if you're prone to dandruff, you do have like itchy, sensitive eyebrows, because they have the same cells, like the sebaceous cells are in this region of your eyes. And this really helps get rid of any irritation. It's so hydrating that, okay, so recently I got perioral dermatitis. It's like on again, off again. And if I use makeup, if I use heavy sunscreens, it's exacerbated. So I started to just cut down on the number of things I use for my skincare. And I use this with azelaic acid. That's the only 2 things that I use at night. And it works so well. Like, I don't feel like my skin is dry, and it feels very hydrated, moisturized. It's like a really lightweight moisturizer. And I can't tell you how much I'm so happy they made this. I don't like the glass packaging. It's like heavy, but I like how it dispenses, if that makes sense. Like, I like that you can control it and you won't accidentally get too much. So maybe that's what begs for a glass packaging, maybe also because glass is recyclable. So this is something that I would genuinely recommend for all skin types. I think it's not just for people with, I think people with sensitive skin can see the most impact and positive difference, but anyone out there who's looking for a really lightweight, I think guys would really like it. Like guys who just want to use 1 or 2 things in the morning at the most, and they want to use something really lightweight at night, I think they should consider this product in addition to anyone else. So that's all for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my subscribers who've been so patient and loving towards me, and people who leave me comments even though I've been MIA. And I hope you know that I am thinking about you guys. I'm really grateful for you, and I hope that you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Here in Canada, we finished our Thanksgiving in October, and we're looking forward to Christmas. So I have my Christmas lights and everything. And yeah, if you have any questions or suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Take care.